Jimmie Diamond was born on February 18th, 325 AD on the planet Uranus. A year on Uranus lasts for 84 Earth years. Jimmie was 20 Uranian years old in 2005, which made him 1,680 Earth years old, and his name was originally Anal Zex. He was born when his body was sculpted from clay by his father, Oral Zex. Uranian humans are born through being sculpted to life, meaning mating is only for pleasure. Anal lived in the Neptunian city of Koont. It was a dictatorship where its people are put into various roles after birth. Anal's role was a bodyguard for the mayor of Koont City, Mike Hunt. But Anal was a rebel and very uncontrollably horny, so he committed various crimes of debauchery, depravity, and downright goonery, which includes but not limited to public sex with prostitutes, smearing cum all over military weapons, taking a shit in a blender, and many, many more. For his crimes, he was banished from Koont City and put roles in many other cities across the planet, including erection, foreskin, vagina, and many more, until his last city of Virgin, where in 2005 he was sentenced to execution, his worst crime yet. But he escaped on a ship, and was thus exiled to the only other livable planet to him, Earth. He would land in Australia and adopt the name Jimmie Diamond as his Earth name. He was Anal Zex no more! 2 years later, in 2007, Jimmie would kidnap a man named Ashio by locking him in his own closet. After some persuasion, Ashio the Fool was let out of the closet, and Jimmie became his roommate. Wacky, right? The two would also become vigilantes, and Jimmie would document the duo's vigilante work, as well as documentaries on various criminals on various social media platforms under the username Xenomorphclaith, later just Jimmie Diamond. As a side gig, Jimmie often flirts with random people on the street, going as far as to seduce a few into bed. In 2021, Jimmie Diamond would create a documentary on the YouTuber Marcus Dibble. The video had an unintended consequence of his house being raided by members of Zen, who discovered that he was an alien. He was kidnapped and tortured for information by the Zen troopers, but Jimmie was rescued by a Zenilri automaton named Grello. The two who would fight in a war against Zen, in which during that time they became great friends. In 2022, Malachi 51 saw the efforts that Jimmie and Grello had made against Zen, so he recruited them to the newly formed ZAV, which was created as a response to Zen. In 2024, Jimmie shelved his documentary productions to focus on the conflict with Zen, with only 2 productions rumored to be still going, one about Darren James McDonald, aka the Candlelight Man, and the other about the Red Pill scene, which is a collaboration with Grello. But both Jimmie and Grello were caught in an explosion during a patrol. Jimmie survived, but Grello is in a coma, and the conflict with Zen has erupted into what can only be described as the Second Cold War between Australia and Zen's country of origin, the United States of America.